You are watching 21 Alive Plus. I'm our boss coming to you live from our digital news desk here in Fort Wayne. It is Wednesday, July 24th, 3:15 p.m. and the presidential race, the 2024 race for the White House, has officially come to Indiana. Vice President Kamala Harris making a visit to the Hoosier State. 21 Alive has been covering that visit for you all day, and 21 Alive reporter Amelia Miles, you see her there on your screen. She is joining us now live in Indianapolis with the very latest. Amelia.
We are not playing around. And the reason I say that is because she kind of brought in the Divine Nine, which one of them is here today, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, with their event today. And long story short, they want to have a lot of things change. They said a lot of, like, the other side of the party is looking backwards. And this party, the Democratic Party, wants to look forward. She also brought up how President Biden is scheduled to speak tonight at 8 o'clock, and basically saying that he did extraordinary work and he was a bold leader with a bold vision, and he's deeply grateful for his service. And Harris then highlighted the vision of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated have towards a better future. Like I said, a vision that highlights social justice, health justice, and economic justice, leading on those abortion rights, leading on student debt, and leading on gun control. And she also says, I deeply believe in the promise of America, a promise of freedom, opportunity, and justice, not just for some, but for all. And with all that being said as well, she says something in the part of, now in this moment, our nation needs your leadership once again. In this moment, I believe we face a choice between two different visions of our nation, focused on the future, like I just said, and focused on the past. And she is saying, with the support of the Divine Nine, including Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated, with their support, she is fighting for our nation's future. And something else I wanted to touch on as well. When me and my photographer came in today, we were heavily searched. There was dogs, there was metal detectors, there was stuff that you would basically see in an airport. So the security was very much heightened today here in downtown Indianapolis for the safety of all, and especially for safety for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Amelia, I want to ask you a bit about the turnout, about the feeling and the mood there, and about some individuals who were there as well, too. I know Fort Wayne Mayor Sharon Tucker, and sort of one of the reasons for the Vice President to visit here, because it's been 16 years since Indiana has voted for a Democratic candidate. But before I do that, I actually have a clip of her speech that I want to play right now for our viewers. Amelia, hang with me for a second. I'm going to play about a 50-second clip of the Vice President Harris speaking in Indianapolis today. Let's take a listen.
And now, in this moment, our nation needs your leadership once again. In this moment, I believe we face a choice between two different visions for our nation. One focused on the future, the other focused on the past. And with your support, I am fighting for our nation's future. So tonight, our president will address the nation about his decision to step down as a candidate, and he will talk about not only the work, the extraordinary work that he has accomplished, but about his work in the next 6 months.
And that was Vice President Harris talking a little bit about President Biden, who is scheduled to speak at 8 p.m. tonight. Again, you can watch that live here on 21 Alive. Amelia, I wanted to ask you, you've been there all day, speaking to a lot of people there. A lot of people will see the Vice President visiting Indiana and saying, well, I don't know why she came here. This is a state that typically always goes red, always goes Republican, hasn't gone blue since 2008 when President Obama was able to carry the state. Clearly, Vice President Harris, though, is going to try to make a run at Indiana, and it seems like with her visit today to the black sorority, she knows that she's going to have to get the minority vote in Indiana to come on out. I want to ask you about that, about her strategy and what you were hearing from different people at the event today.
And
Yeah,
now,
with over
in this
6,000
moment,
sorority members, with excuse me, with more than 6,000 sorority members here, it was electric to say the least in that convention center today. The reason I say that is when she mentioned things about student debt, when she mentioned things about restoring Roe v. Wade, and just a lot of things like that, that was probably the loudest I've heard a whole convention center get excited for a presidential candidate like this. And Vice President Kamala Harris is basically, like, you just played a clip right there of her looking on the past, and she like touts it as the dark past, basically, you know, referring to Roe v. Wade and her potential running mate, former President Donald Trump.
Okay, very good. Amelia Miles joining us live from Indianapolis. Vice President, or the running mate for Donald Trump, also in Fort Wayne today. We'll have a lot of coverage coming up for you. Amelia, before we let you go, we can expect to see you live in our newscast later today. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, very good. We will be hearing from Amelia Miles and have much more on Vice President Harris's visit to Indiana today. Got a little bit of video I want to play for you before I do go of Vice President Harris. This is her arriving here in Indiana. Let's roll that video. This again is from earlier today. Again, the reason that this visit is getting so much attention, well, number one, President Joe Biden just dropped out of the race a couple days ago, something that is very rare, obviously, in any sort of presidential race. And then so much support from the Democratic Party has now come to support Vice President Harris. So every one of her moves now is going to get a lot of attention. And then she came to our state today. So just one of the reasons that this visit is getting so much attention. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to tell you that for you can bring me back on camera. Thank you. I appreciate that. Getting some help here on the digital news desk as we work this out here. Hope you guys have been enjoying some of the coverage here on 21 Alive Plus. We also have the Fast Cast that happens in the morning. But before I go, we'll have live reports from Amelia Miles in our newscast, and also our Alex Null will have some coverage from J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio, who Donald Trump has picked to be his running mate. He is in Fort Wayne for an event, so our Alex Null will also have some coverage as well of that. So today, Indiana very much so feeling like the center of the political world as the race for the White House has come to our state for the day. We will have much more for you in all of our newscasts. I will see you live on the 7 and 11 p.m. newscast, and of course, you can go to 21alivenews.com for the very latest. Okay, you have been watching 21 Alive Plus. I'm Amara Boss.